Good evening, chart nerds. Welcome back to another TA video. We're going to be looking at Vechain today on the weekly time frame. Again, most of the updates that I do, guys, we do tend to zoom out on the weekly and the monthly, especially just to look at the macro scale and environment that we are in. I feel like, you know, if you're trying to zoom into the 1 hour, 4 hour, sometimes it can get a bit mind-boggling. So it's always good to have a little zoom out. And at times like this, as I've said, it's good to look at the bigger picture. So what I wanted to look at for Vechain here, basically, I've got this fib on, okay, from the all-time high back in 2021, retracing back to this zero fib down here of the March 2020 lows, so the COVID lows. You can see that Chainlink had this massive A, B, C, okay, a really big bull run, and absolutely took off to the moon. I did measure this percentage of move earlier, and it was around 16,000%. So of course, guys, again, what comes up must gradually start to come down again, okay, and it's very healthy for these projects to do this. It doesn't feel like it, okay, and you know, fear never feels like opportunity in these sort of markets. But again, if you look at, let's look at the RSI for a second, okay? So just keeping an eye on the RSI. Look at these levels that you're at right now, okay, where the RSI is. It's in the floor. It's not completely in the floor or at the lowest point it's been in regards to its history, but we are in these sort of oversold sort of areas in the RSI, and you have had this large downtrend, haven't you? So what you can see here, if you go back to when the previous area of the RSI was like this in history beforehand, so we go back to 2019, you know, these sort of lows down here that tie up with the price here, okay, you can see that even though you did start to come up, you had that massive COVID crash, okay, and this was a black swan event no one could have really predicted, but at this point it would, and the same point of the RSI is in regards to where it is now, you had this exponential growth eventually, didn't you? You know, as I said, you had the massive COVID dip, but once you started to find the lows and pick up there, you just took off into the moon. So again, these areas in the RSI are areas that you do tend to keep a lookout for in regards to starting to accumulate, or at least starting to get back involved. Again, you've got this box here, as I said, in 2019, and again, you're at relatively similar levels in regards to the RSI over here in 2022. So again, that's not me saying, guys, chuck all your life savings and get involved and throw that all in there. But the RSI is at a healthy level. It is where you want to be when you would like to invest, and it is just one of the indicators that we use looking at the charts moving forward. But anyways, getting back to this Fibonacci, okay, so going from this high, retracing back down to this low, I've got the golden pocket here that I look for in regards to retracements, corrections, bear markets, whatever it may be. You know, on the fibs, we always look for the 050 and the 0618 on a retracement from a high to a low, okay, and you can see that what happened here for Vechain, okay, so you had this high, again, you found support, and you had a lower high, you kept creating lower highs, and this indicates depleting buying pressure, and therefore once you lost key or kept losing key levels of support, so we had support here for a while, you can see that once you came up and created this double top, okay, you had lower highs, you lost it, you turned that into resistance, and then therefore you've crashed and rolled back down again. But what happened here, I think a lot of people were expecting Vechain to hold on this high, okay, and backtest it for support, and it did come down to this high for a while, okay, so for a good few months, okay, from June until October, we had a 4 to 5 month sort of consolidation between the sort of range where I think we kind of let the EMAs, I'm going to get the EMAs on. Yeah, we was a bit overextended from the EMAs here when we did come down to the 050 at 21. Okay, so when we did get to that point, you can see that let me get this back on, the EMAs here. So this is the 10, that's the 20, sorry, and this is the 10. You can see that we was, in regards to price, down here, a little overextended from this blue and yellow line. So the price drew back up to the resistance and back into these EMAs, of which when you are in a downtrend, you're underneath them and you struggle to get back above them. Okay, so all of these have been lower highs within this bear market, and that's to be expected in a bear. So what we're looking for to get some sort of confirmation here is basically to get back above these two EMAs, to get back above the 050, or worst case scenario, what I think might play out on the cards here, if we do get some sort of bullish momentum in the next couple of weeks, what you can see is we've lost this support, okay, that we was holding, and the previous support back here in 2020 of August, okay, we was looking to hold that, but we coiled up on it for a while, we ran into these EMAs, we got rejected, and we fell, okay, so right now we're still basically a falling knife, and it's very hard to pick where to get involved and where not to. Again, as I said, potentially what might happen here, you might start to see some sort of rally on the cards back into these EMAs, and i.e. up to this 050. But I'm expecting this to, because you've lost it as support, now that you've lost it as support, if you do start to come back up into it, I'm expecting to meet it as resistance and therefore come back and at least retest the lows that Vechain has here. But because we've lost this, the main thing that I'm looking for is a retracement to the 0618, because you held the 050 support for ages. Okay, you can see that it was some sort of descending triangle. You was getting lower highs, coiled into a corner, you shat yourself, and right now potentially you're looking to come back to these EMAs and retest them as resistance instead of support. Now what will happen at that point is you will start to retrace to this low. Now it's all about holding that low. If this low is lost, okay, if this low does get lost down here, I am expecting a retracement to this area. So from current price, okay, as I said, we may get the rally back into these EMAs here on the weekly, turn this 050 into resistance. That's a potential. But if we do start to lose this price, then for me, the 0618 is the target. And from current price to get to that mark, you're still looking at another 27 to 28% drawdown. Again, whether we literally roll over and meet that target quite quickly here for Vechain and have a flash crash, or as I said, whether you start to coil up and wait for these EMAs to sort of catch up with you again, is basically the two options that I'm looking at here for on the weekly. So key levels to keep an eye on. If you start to close above this 050 and you start to get back above this and holding this as support, bullish behavior, okay, and you've got levels of resistance above that we're going to be looking to tackle, and potentially you could have some sort of inverse head and shoulders at this point if you do get above that. Again, that's a bullish scenario, a potential in the near future. But if we don't and we meet this as resistance, I would be looking for a retracement back down to this area and this 0618. You can see that it ties up with this low, okay, which was the wave 1 or wave A, and it was the wave B support before the continuation of the explosiveness and breakout. Okay, so you can see that the 050 was once resistance. We came back to the 0618 for support, and that's where we broke out. So right now you can see we've lost the 050 as support. We're looking to turn it to resistance, and as opposite, we're looking to now come down to the 0618 and turn that into support, just like we did back here in November 2020, and you had that massive impulsive move. So if we can come down and reach those sort of levels, I think it would be absolutely amazing. I think it would be a point of extreme fear, and at that point, if we did start to work our way down here, I do think at this area we could sort of go sideways for a few months and start to build up some sort of accumulation period over a certain amount of time. Again, like this area here, bar the black swan, where you had this close outside of this box, but this accumulation zone would have been perfect because eventually you did take off. So right now you've had this correction, you're coming down. If we do come to the 0618 at 1180, I would expect some sideways action, just start to build up before the next leg, basically. So that is my bull run target my bear market, my bear market target for Vechain, okay, and that is if we cannot get back above this 050 that we are now looking to turn into resistance if we do get some sort of relief rally. So you've got to keep that in mind in the next couple of weeks. Unless we get back above these EMAs and back above this 050, we are still, my friends, in a downtrend, okay, lower highs each time. The trend is your friend until the end, okay, and all we can do is try and work forward to that and pinpoint the exact low, which is very impossible, very hard, and 95% of the time people don't get it right. Okay, so it's not always advised to try and buy the lows, but again, what the charts are telling me, you're in this downtrend until you start cooling off and going sideways for a little bit. You know, the trend is your friend, basically. So yeah, that's my bearish scenario. Okay, we're looking for a retracement to the 0618 if we fail to get back above this 050 that we was holding previously as support. Okay, so that's the bearish scenario. Come up to that, get rejected, and I think we're coming down to the 0618. Now the bullish scenario, if now we can look at this in reverse. If Chainlink did Chainlink, I've done that in my last video. If we do get depreciation down to this 0618 area, okay, which is, what did I say it was? 0.118. Okay, what we're going to look at, and we're going to do a bit of a thought experiment here, but we're going to get a fib on from 0.0118. So right there, if we did come down to that level, and we was to retrace back to the all-time high, for me, the next bull run target, I think that what Vechain would be looking at a minimum, if we did come down to this level, sort of go sideways for a while, start to pick up, okay, and gradually retrace back up to this high, what we'll be looking at is once we start to take out 29 cents in this all-time high, for a minimum, you're looking at 69 cents with an extension to $2.10. So that is the ultimate. Again, this could only occur, or this Fibonacci is only accurate, or to some degree, if we meet this 0618 target, and that is the low. Okay, so again, it's all speculation. It's all we could do here on with charts and stuff. We use the data that we have, and we look at projections moving forward. So again, none of this is financial advice. It's all for education and entertainment purposes only. But if this was the low at that 118, okay, 0.011, and you did start to pick up and tackle this all-time high eventually at 29 cents, for me, you're looking at these two targets at a minimum in the next bull run. Now, gains. What would we be looking at? So a retracement from, if we did come down to this 0618 target, the retracement we would be looking at here would be a 5,700% move for Vechain in the future at a minimum in the next bull. And if he was to get an overextension to the 1618, we'd be looking at 17,000%. Now, it does seem crazy. It does seem crazy, but you got to think about the flow and the adoption of crypto. And Vechain is an amazing project. Okay, now look at this. Okay, from this COVID low up to this high, look at the percentage, 18,000%. So what's not to say, again, from these lows, we couldn't do another 18,000%, 17,000% and get up to $2.10. In my eyes, it's completely possible. And what you could be looking at here is, on the larger scheme of things, is some sort of ABC or what a bullish 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where you came onto the market, you found your low. Right now, this is potentially an A. This is a large B wave, and what you're potentially looking for in the near future is a C wave up to these targets. Okay, and this is where Vechain again would then potentially start to top out. And go through something very similar, where you have this again another correction, and you're literally starting to work up in waveforms as crypto adoption unfolds. And as I said, Vechain's an amazing project. I don't think it's going to completely disappear off the market. And as I said, these 90% drawdowns are very, very ordinary to expect in harsh winters like this for crypto. So don't be disillusioned, guys. Okay, we survived 2022. We can do the same in 2023. And if anything, this is an amazing opportunity in my eyes to get involved in crypto for the long term. Hold an aspect of being involved in the markets. So yeah, guys, that's a quick update for you today on Vechain. My bearish targets are, again, if we can't get back above that 050 that we was looking at on the last fib, I'm looking at retracing to the 0618, which is this 0 fib here at 0.0011. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's update. Please do take care. Until next time, from Chart Nerd TA, take care. Peace out.